as well as tips on things that can support both your nervous system and your immune system. Okay, so your immune system is the defend and repair in response to some type of a threat. In this time of year, it's typically something viral that is perceived as the threat. Now, when your body can get in that state, it can get into a dominant sympathetic state, which is high alert. It might be you're kind of in this freeze, your flight, something along those lines. That's a dominant sympathetic state. So when you're sick and you're in that state, your body's ability to recovery is somewhat hindered. It can lengthen the time in which you're able to recover, or it can completely stop that progression of repair and healing. So, what are things that you can do? Well, supporting your nervous system will in turn help support and regulate your immune system. Remember, a lot of this starts in the gut. And when it comes to your gut, there's a bidirectional communication between what's happening in your gut and what's going on in your brain. So, what I'm getting at there is nutrients that you choose to put into your body can make a big difference. Now, depending upon what's going on with your symptoms, may hinder or may direct you in what you're going to put into your body, right? If you're really sick, eating, oftentimes it's not uncommon for you to lose your appetite or physically get sick. Getting hydration at that point is the key number one that will greatly help. Keeping yourself hydrated through small sips of water, preferably spring filtered water, but the cleanest you can get, best option. From there, bone broth can be very helpful in this case. There's a lot of nutrients that are held within quality bones. And then when those are then broken down into a broth, and those, or I should say, extracted from the bones into the broth, there's a lot of good healing properties in the broth. Other types of things is once you begin, like a lot of us, when we're really tuned in, if we're paying attention, I mean, when we're tuned in, we can start to tell when we're getting sick. An example for that would be I know when I'm starting to get some type of a viral or just not feeling too good based off of how I react to foods. So before I get the sniffles, before I get the body aches, the key one here is eggs. Most of the time, I do okay with eggs. But when I start to react to eggs, in other words, I start to feel like this gunk in my throat, tickle, kind of that need to clear my throat, headache, achiness. When that happens, when I eat eggs, I know that my body is trying to fight something. And actually, that's not necessarily just true to me. That may be true to you also, because there are certain foods out there that are more prone to exacerbate or maybe cultivate symptoms, such as sugary processed foods. There's really not a time where those are going to be restorative and refueling for your body. They deplete your body. So if you're beginning on if you're beginning to come down with some type of a viral activity before you even actually feel the symptoms, consuming those things may exacerbate and allow those symptoms to actually come to life. Sometimes it's not uncommon for we can walk around with a virus and not even have any symptoms. So again, some of those sugary, refined, processed foods may actually trigger the onset of feeling the symptoms. Other ones that are common for people would be dairy products. Now, please don't think I'm saying that that is a inherently bad food group. Dairy, it is not inherently a bad food group. Some of us don't do well with it. Some of us do just fine. I'm one of those. I can do certain forms of dairy, but not other forms. So to each their own. I don't do well with fermented. Some people do. So just knowing those things. However, much like it is with the eggs, dairy will have that same effect. It naturally, or excuse me, it will cause thickening of the mucous membranes and the excretion of that. So stuffiness, a lot of that tickly throat, or perhaps even a histamine reaction with some of these foods, where you're then going to have itchiness, sneezing, so on and so forth. So fuel your body during different times of year. If you tend to get sick every year around the same time of year, dive into getting more fruits and vegetables, diverse fruits and vegetables. And the purpose of the diversity is different colors offer different types of nutritional support. Furthermore, not only is it from the color, but the source of the color. So you can have green artichoke, green spinach, do two different offer. Yeah, they have the same color to them and those nutrient properties, but they also have different things in them of the cells, given the source of where the food is, hence the artichoke and the spinach. So diversity in color and diversity in color sources plays a key role in a lot of that. That will, in turn, how does that support your nervous system? Well, by reducing the amount of stress that is put on your gut will then help your nervous system to relax. So if you are not already in a dominant sympathetic state, you can remain in that beautiful flowing in and out of a rest and digest in high alert state. I hope that made sense. I probably should have explained the parasympathetic. That's your rest and digest. You need both the sympathetic and the parasympathetic, and going in and out of them throughout the day. That's the time. That's your ability to be able to do that. That's the sign of a healthy nervous system. Staying stuck in one or the other, that's a sign of a dysfunctional nervous system. So fueling your gut will in turn help fuel your nervous system, which will then help your immune system as well. Other types of things, though, that will help all of that together would be not just what you're putting into your body in terms of food and beverages, but what else are you putting into your body in terms of environment? Some things are within our control when it comes to environment, while some things are outside. The air quality isn't exactly within your individual control. However, EMF exposure within your own personal home and space is within your control. EMFs put a lot of stress on the body, and in the world we live in today, there's an overabundance of EMFs. If it's a power source, it's emitting EMFs, which are electromagnetic fields. That in turn can produce inflammation. It can hinder your sleep, your neurotransmitters, so hence your nervous system. It can affect your body's ability to digest even. So with that being said, doing things such as grounding, get a grounding mat. There's earthing.com. I mean, there's different sites. That's not the only one. I'm not promoting a particular site. That's just the one I'm most familiar with. Earthing.com, they have lots of education on there where you can learn more about grounding and things that you can do. Depending upon where you live, walking outside on the grass, in sand, on unsealed cement, or anything that gets you in physical contact from barefoot to the bare ground will also naturally help ground you. So all of those are just different types of things that you can do. Supplements, I oftentimes don't talk about supplements on public videos or even in our classes for a couple of reasons. One, supplements is not as simple as they sound. there's quality supplements, and then there's poor quality supplements, and there's things that are kind of in between. You get what you pay for when it comes to supplements. So if you're trying to be cost effective and you're really trying to, keep that budget in check, and so you're going to buy the cheapest supplements out there, you're not going to get good quality supplements. It's just the truth of it. But if you are able to get supplements, better quality, that are checked by a third party, things along those lines, then they can be helpful to keep on hand. Zinc is one of them. Zinc, vitamin C, those can both help with inflammation, inflammation. They can help with antiviral property in that sense. NAC can really help. When it comes to breathing, along with NAC would be things like Boswellia. If you're struggling with detox pathways and things like that, so pretty much when you're sick, your detox pathways can be affected. So things like glutathione can really help when you're sick. Other types of supplements that can be helpful. Vitamin D. I can't believe I forgot vitamin D. That's probably number one on the list, would be vitamin D. Get your vitamin D and your magnesium. Both of those are probably like the top two. From there would be zinc and vitamin C. If you're dealing with chronic viruses, there's a whole world of other things out there. Elderberry can be great. So just go out there, do some research. Again, quality over just price really does make a difference when it comes to supplements. And also remember that supplements supplement what you cannot get enough of. Oftentimes I see people treat supplements like they would a medication. That's not the way to go about them in terms of mindset and usage. Again, you want to get most of your nutrients from your lifestyle, from your diet. What are you putting into your body? What you cannot get enough of or at all of, then you can supplement, hence vitamin D. Most of us, at least in this area of the country, we cannot get appropriate amounts of vitamin D3, and we need the K2 binder to bind with that. So supplementing that for most people in this region of the country is a given for most again. So those are just a few things. Again, hydration plays a key role, practicing things to calm down your nervous system, to fluctuate, moving your body, even when you're sick. Now, if you're getting worse by moving your body, that's saying you need to rest your body more. But there is a balance in there where oftentimes I see people wanting to over rest their body when in fact they need to move their body more. So if you're dealing with a lot of sinus stuff, moving your body may actually be more beneficial than just rest. It takes both, is what I'm getting at here. It's not all or nothing, either or, it's and. All right, guys. So again, hydration, good quality nutrients, supplements if needed, moving your body, grounding to help with EMF exposure, quality sleep, things like that. All of those are going to help with your immune system. Next week, we're going to dive one more week into immune health. So I'll talk with you 2:45 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. I hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving